Well, this is a hot mess and a half. The official StarWars.com website has released a news article on what they think are the best lightsaber duels across the galaxy. And this list is a fucking joke. Oh my god. I about shit myself from laughing when I saw this. I understand everybody is entitled to their own opinion, but if you were to put out a poll on the best lightsaber fights in Star Wars, I imagine 80% of these would not be on there. So let's have some fun. Since the first time Luke Skywalker lit up his father's lightsaber in Star Wars A New Hope nearly 50 years ago, the elegant weapons of the Jedi and Sith have been a mesmerizing part of the galaxy. The likes of Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Emperor Palpatine, and Darth Maul, among many others, have used their lightsabers to both protect peace and bring about the downfall of the galaxy. Sparks fly when lightsabers meet in battle. Let's revisit some of our favorite duels. Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader in The Empire Strikes Back. I'm just going to say this off bat. Yes, some of these lightsaber duels are more iconic than others, which makes them better duels than others. But also, I want to take into account of the choreography. Now, again, back in the original trilogy, they recorded these fights differently. And that's fully understandable. They didn't have the technology that we had when they did the prequels, and they certainly didn't have it when we did the sequels. So these little glow sticks were battery packs and like glowy film mesh that went over it and then reflected. Like the technology advanced 1,000-fold in like prequel era. So you can't do all the flashy, swirly moves of the prequel trilogy or the sequel stuff. So you take it for what it is. There was some good moves in here. It was iconic. I am your father. So yeah, I would say definitely deserves to be on this list. Like, definitely. We've got Anakin Skywalker versus Boris Offee, Star Wars The Clone Wars, Season 5, Episode 20, The Wrong Jedi. Now, if you remember this one, it was when Ahsoka was being framed for the bombing of the Jedi Temple. Anakin had just found out who she was and what she did, and it was incredible. The fight here, look at it, it's incredible. When you think of this fight, you think, oh my gosh, there's so much at stake. Oh my gosh, at the end of these episodes, Ahsoka leaves the Jedi Order. As far as best lightsaber duel in all of Star Wars, I wouldn't put this at a top 10. It's definitely good. It's definitely an amazing fight sequence. There's a lot of weight to it. There's a lot of risk. There's a lot of, if I don't win this in Anakin's head, my Padawan goes down for something she did not do. There's so much. And the story that carries with this is really interesting because when Yoda gave Anakin a Padawan in the Clone Wars movie, his hope was that Anakin would be able to let go of attachments. And this ended up backfiring in a major way. He just got more attached. Now, as far as top 10 or so lightsaber fights in Star Wars, no. As far as means a lot, very difficult, very frightening, absolutely. It is there's a lot of weight to this story and to this fight, but not top 10. As far as fights go, there's tension, it's dramatic, And what's interesting thing about this, and what I really love about this, is Ahsoka only uses one lightsaber. If you know her, you've seen her, she always uses two. But Ray Stevenson or Balin Skull, I'm gonna probably mix those up. He is a tall guy. He's over 6 feet tall. He uses a very aggressive lightsaber fighting style, which has a lot more force, power, and aggressiveness to it. So it's like using one blade actually makes sense here if you dig deep into it and you actually think, oh, why is she using one blade? Because you can see the visible strikes between the two are much more weighty. They're sizing each other up. They're like, he has Jedi training. He was from the High of the Republic. He was trained in the Jedi Temple. He survived Order 66. He's powerful. And yes, he is a formidable opponent, which makes Ahsoka cautious. Anybody or any Jedi she fights nowadays, if they're younger than, say, 25 or 30, I'm not even sure, like younger than, I think, probably 25, they weren't trained in the ways of the Jedi. They were trained by masters who might have been trained in the way of the Jedi, like Shinhati. But it's definitely, you gotta worry about these ones. She knows what she's up against. She knows he's strong. So as far again as top 10 lightsaber fights of all time, no. Again, not in my top 10. Like, I don't think it'd be anybody's top 10. This is a side fight to a greater show. No, not a top 10. I'm sorry. When you actually dig into this fight, not just the choreography, which Nick Giller did an amazing job with, you think of the fan spectacle. Oh, I didn't know a lightsaber could go dual bladed. Nobody had ever seen that from Star Wars yet. People were going nuts in theaters, I assume. I was too young. I had yet to be even born when this movie came out. But when you actually think about how impressive this character was, and what's actually at stake here, you have the entire stake of the galaxy. Who's gonna train Anakin? Who's gonna train the Chosen One? Like, again, choreography absolutely makes this, in my opinion, a top 10. Maybe top 7, or maybe even top 5 for me. There's a lot of lightsaber duels in Star Wars, so yes, there's a lot of emotion. The music definitely carries it up there. Duel of the Fates. I actually have a reel saved on my Instagram account of John Williams directing the creation of Duel of the Fates. So yes, this definitely makes a top 10 for me in my book. This is one they actually got right. And we're back. Ranger vs. Soul, Star Wars The Acolyte, Season 1, Episode 8. This was a very floaty fight. In this scene, he floats down from above, and it's a very floaty, force-using fight. And you see some cool moves. I will not deny that. The Acolyte has had some of the best live-action Star Wars lightsaber duels since Revenge of the Sith. We haven't had anything better since that came out. Like, none of the sequel trilogy crap. But yes, this had some of the best lightsaber duels in Star Wars since like the sequel trilogy. So I will give it that. The Acolyte story terrible, characters terrible, development terrible. The only good thing was like I think episode 5 and a little bit of snippet of 8. I definitely would not put this in my top 10. Like no, I there's no real stakes for this fight. Nobody gives a shit if any of these characters live or die. And I'm sorry to say that, but they're out of the range of spectrum that has been actually explored. Had it been explored as much as the sequel, prequel, or original trilogy, there would be more love for it. But this is the only, like, Old Republic maybe I wouldn't say old Republic. 100 years, it's older Republic or less old Republic, but this is the only stuff that we have. And considering that none of these characters are ever mentioned in the prequel trilogy in Phantom Menace, fucking Ki-Adi-Mundi retconned himself because, like, the Sith have been extinct for a millennia. Except, like, 100 years ago, my guy, there was a Dark Acolyte, and you could argue the Acolyte wasn't actually a Sith. But, I mean, come on. You knew what they were trying to do. So, no, does not make my top 10. Kanan Jarrus and Ezra Bridger versus Darth Vader, Star Wars Rebels, Season 2, Episode 1, The Siege of Lothal. Definitely a good fight. When I think of Star Wars Rebels, I think of some of the best Star Wars and storytelling in the history of Star Wars. Yes, it's a kids show, but also Kanan Jarrus is the perfect Jedi Knight, in my opinion. And the fact that Ezra, he didn't even stand a chance. Kanan didn't even stand a chance, yet they still went and fought. They still were like, oh my gosh, we gotta let these guys escape. I'm worried about my team. Again, you knew they would escape. You didn't think that they would die in episode 1. And it's not a flashy lightsaber fight. Kanan isn't trained. But to see Vader just kick people's ass, like, look at him. I respect it. I respect that they put this in there. I respect that Vader's using the Force to almost kill Ezra with his own lightsaber. That's insane. That's dark. That's not kids show material. There are a lot of scenes in the show that are not meant for kids. Very good fight in my eyes as far as, like, oh my gosh, you got these two random Jedi fighting Darth Vader. Are we gonna see something get killed? No, we're not. At least not by Darth Vader. And it's like, bro's just toying with them. So it's like, not a top 10. Definitely not in my eyes. So, I don't know. We got another Star Wars Visions fight. Again, not in my top 10. I don't think I've ever been talking with my friends and been like, you know what's the best fight in Star Wars? Ronan versus Asan, the Grandmaster in Star Wars Visions. That's never popped in my head. I've never even considered these when thinking of a lightsaber fight. That's how insignificant it is. You have Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Vader, Obi-Wan Kenobi show, season 1, episode 6. This was by far the best episode in the entire show. Like, 100%. Like, it was amazing. The fight, I would not say the choreography was amazing. It was good. It was not amazing, but I think for the characters that they were, you have Kenobi, who's an older guy. He's been marooned. He's hurt. You got Vader, who's got trauma for fighting his master. It had one of the most emotional scenes with Obi-Wan saying, like, goodbye to Anakin and confirming that he's Darth Vader. I would say definitely emotional. Not the most emotional. I'll probably do a video on that too. But yes, I would say not top 10 either. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then we're back to this bullshit. Neither of these two had any business touching a lightsaber. I would have enjoyed the movie more if Rey had accidentally ignited the lightsaber in the wrong position and stabbed Finn in the balls. Like, oh my god. This was the first Star Wars movie that we had gotten in years, in over a decade, and they go with a defect stormtrooper and a scavenger girl from another desert planet. I have hatred for the sequel trilogy all around. Disney has not done a lot of things right. I can name on my hands the amount of things they've done right on, like, one hand. So it's like Rey versus Kylo Ren. No, absolutely not. Garbage. Does not belong in the top 10 any way, shape, or form. Honorable mention, Darth Vader versus the Rebels. I want to point something out here real quick. I think the title of the article is "Best Lightsaber Duels Across the Galaxy." As far as I know, there wasn't a duel. He was deflecting blaster bolts. If this was a Star Wars duel, if deflecting blaster bolts was a duel, I would say sure. But then you would have to include every second of a lightsaber being active for it to be called a duel. There'd be thousands of hours of dueling with Clone Wars and Anakin deflecting bolts, Kanan deflecting bolts, Ezra deflecting bolts. This is not a duel. What this article is, it was created by the higher-ups of Disney to promote their trash. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of however many this is sequel trilogy Disney trash. And again, I'm being a little bit harsh on Rebels. I really did love it. But again, none of this, in my opinion, should be, except for Phantom Menace. Only one of these is worthy to be on this list, which is absolutely pathetic to call it the best lightsaber duels across the galaxy. I just want to slap whoever's in charge with a lightsaber. And I'm like, I'm done with it. And, actually, I'm going to extend this video, and we're going to go over my top 10. Like, how did Anakin versus Obi-Wan not get put on here? Like, how did Darth Vader versus Luke in Return of the Jedi not get on here? How did Anakin, or how did Yoda and Sidious not get on here? Like, some of the most iconic fights. If you mention a lightsaber fight, you're going to think of the prequel trilogy, because Nick Gillard is a fucking legend. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame of Star Wars. I think he is. I don't even know if there is one. Just do better. You know what? I'm going to go through my top 10 real quick. Let's do this. Okay, here we are. Frickin' as many lightsaber duels as I could find. Like, S tier off the bat, Ahsoka versus Maul. Like, this was the perfect culmination of, like, the Clone Wars. This was the best arc of the Clone Wars besides maybe Umbara. Absolutely fantastic. Now, this one, I'm gonna reorganize these a little bit, but this one carried so much emotion. As far as duel, it wasn't very long. As far as emotion, it's amazing. Like, absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to put Mace Windu versus Sidious up there. It wasn't my favorite. Anakin versus Obi-Wan, absolutely S tier lightsaber fight. Absolutely insane. Ahsoka versus Darth Vader in the Rebels, that was an amazing fight. It had the most emotion in a fight I had ever seen. I'm actually going to put volume on for this. The amount of emotion that is in this fight, I cry every single time. You have Ahsoka's swift moves. You have Vader's heavy attacks. You have the ultimate culmination of apprentice versus master. And it's heartbreaking. When she slices through his mask, I cry every time. Because one of her biggest regrets was leaving the Jedi Order. Her regrets of thinking, I could have saved Anakin. Where was Anakin? I couldn't do anything. Like, there's so much to go on this. And, like, this, 30 seconds is insane. Because they're both terrified. They're both sad. They're both depressed. Ahsoka is sitting here terrified. So, yeah. Top 10. if we dive back into this, like there are a lot of options in this like category. This one right here, it was okay. It wasn't really a duel, it was more of a spar. It was nice. Sidious versus Maul and Savage Opress. One of the hardest lightsaber battles in the history of Star Wars, guys. You've got Sidious taking on his old apprentice. You've got Maul and Savage, both terrifying. Everything about this fight was absolutely terrifying and was absolutely peak. You're not going to be able to tell me otherwise. Clone Wars had some of the best fighting of everything that we ever got. Like, absolutely insane. Like, you got Phantom Menace. Absolutely insane. Like, I don't need to go over this again. Now, here's another thing. There's an extended scene of deleted footage that was clipped together by a bunch of people. And when you watch that, actually, I'm just going to show you guys. Somebody clipped together this absolutely, okay, we're putting music on. Absolutely incredible. Incredible cut. And I like to think that this happened in A New Hope. Now, is this an official Star Wars lightsaber fight? No. But as far as I'm concerned, this would go top 5 as far as cinematic, as far as hopes, as far as fears, as far as what is going on in this scene. And the parallel is incredible when you think about it happening in A New Hope. Like, look at how hard this is. He's on fire and they're fighting. The whole scene is about 5 minutes. I'm not going to show the entire thing, because if I did, this episode or video would be like an hour long with all the crap I'm talking about. So, SC38, guys, go ahead and check it out. I don't even know who made it, but I love it. Honestly, it's like Return of the Jedi, Luke versus Vader. It's not a crazy choreographed scene. But again, it's original, it's beautiful, I love it. If I think of a great lightsaber fight, I'm gonna think of that. You could take anything with Count Dooku in it and make it absolutely insane. Like, Count Dooku is a beautiful duelist, and I have to go with this one. It was Obi-Wan, Anakin, Clone Wars episode, whatever. They are fighting on Obadiah. And what's incredible about this fight is the fact that Dooku pushed Obi-Wan on the offensive and made Anakin go defensive. He switched up the preferred styles on themselves, which is insane to think of a duelist to be like, yeah, I'm gonna make you guys be uncomfortable. You're gonna be scared. And it was insane. Absolutely insane, guys. It's to think about Dooku, to think about what he did. Like, you could take any of the Dookus and stick it on there. Like, there's too many to choose from. You've got, yeah, this is the number 10. You've got Ahsoka, who is, if I think of Ahsoka, I think of this scene. I think, oh my gosh, she shows up in Rebels. She solos 2 Inquisitors like they are younglings and proceeds to dip. Like, I know there's a few others in here. I'm trying to remember them scene for scene, because I know something is going to slip up my mind. But these are my top lightsaber fights of all time. This one's emotional. All peak. All of this is peak. These three duels by themselves make Star Wars what Star Wars is. The emotion, the risk, the tension. These three duels are the best three duels in all of Star Wars. Nobody will be able to convince me otherwise, guys. It's leave a comment letting me know what you think. Like, I was not planning on putting together my top 10 lightsaber duels or however many this is. What is it? Like 9? Whatever. So, Disney, do better. Fucking just do better. It's disgusting. The fact that you thought what you put out were some of the best duels in Star Wars history. Get out of here. Do better. Now that Dave Filoni's back in leadership, hopefully he can turn this shit around. Kathleen Kennedy, I hope wherever you go, you succeed. That way you don't come back to Star Wars. That's the only reason I'm wishing you success, is so that you'll stay away from this beloved franchise. Go fuck yourself, Kennedy. I'm sorry. You're terrible. But have a nice night, guys. Subscribe if you're new. Subscribe if you thought this was an interesting video. Maybe I'll do more of this stuff. Honestly, I really enjoy making these videos. I will see you all later. I gotta cut this off at some point. Otherwise, I'm gonna be blabbering for the next half hour. See you guys later.